champion that Afro loves to play and considers it meta, but it's not something that we have seen just yet.
You're also really enabling the Kazakhs here, depending on how hard Xmithie plays it. In, out, gives him much more safety. Darshan's initiations, we know what Zilean brings to the table, as well as the safety. The past game, Darshan was already a tank to kill. Now you're going to have to do it 3 times if he has a Guardian Angel and the Chrono Shift, so... yeah, getting it.
Yeah,
and when you... Echo.
Yeah. When you actually speed somebody up, you speed up a Maokai that comes running at the enemy team to Twisted Advance. It's actually ridiculous how fast he'll run at that team and try to just root somebody. So that your engage may not look that great, but when you're speeding up a Maokai, it's very scary.
All right, so what are we looking? We kind of went with FlyQuest last time and then jumped to CLG. Let's go with CLG first. What is CLG looking at with this composition? How can they maybe attack the Kassadin or shut down Rengar in the jungle to start things off?
I think you want to gank the Kassadin pre-6 because the LeBlanc has mobility, has a way to actually just root him, lock him up for the Kazakhs, give Hai a little bit of a dose of his own medicine. But this composition is pretty good all around. They have the Ignite in mid lane to try and dominate it. They have wave clear. They have the ability to rotate. And then they have just straight up rather good team fight here. So you fight up against a Zilean, Malzahar ultimate's not going to mean much. The Kassadin burst will only mean a little bit. And with a Rengar on the enemy team, usually he wants to one-shot your AD carrier, your bot laner. Probably won't happen here.
All right, we are on the riff for game 2. A lot of the same coming out of the inventories, except for the longsword on the side of Altek to speed himself towards his item.
Exactly. We've been seeing longsword more and more from AD carries. The Doran's Blade will offer you a little bit of HP, but people are considering that the extra potions in the inventory, because you get 3 of them, is better than the sustain that the Doran's Blade will bring you with the extra lifesteal on it, the 3%. So consider it about 300 more effective HP from the potions. 2 more damage for that. So overall, depends on how much you're trading, but it gets you closer to that first item spike, 350 some odd gold a little bit sooner.
Oh, hello.
Nice flank there. This is what they tried to do last time.
Imagine that level 1 crowd control you were talking about. Aphromoo would be blowing more than Flash right now, which is huge, but they still have the exhaust for any scary, scary moments.
I talked about it. That was the actual deadly flourish coming out from Altek. He took the root level 1. So if he was able to root up Aphromoo, he has to just sit there with all of these little voidlings just chipping away at him and killing him. So decides to flash away, and the exhaust did come out for elimination. So interesting move that they try to come in from the flank to get the level 1 voidling out a little bit further instead of running straight at them. So it's clever here. You can see it's quite rehearsed from FlyQuest.
Good guy balls, priority tank for Moon so he can keep a lot of HP. Always feels good when you get that respect from everybody in the game. And the junglers are off and running. Top laners will miss 1 or 2, but they'll be all right. Rush control here as there is a mismatched back as Aphromoo got himself hurt a little bit. So this will be pushed to the turret. We'll see how Stixxay and Aphromoo recuperate from this.
Yep, and Moon is going to go ward before he actually continues his right side of the jungle there. So he only cleared red, buff to buff clear here. Even though Rengar is one of the better junglers at killing Raptors and Krugs. Actually one of the fastest at doing so because of his Q, cleaving things in an AoE.
Saw a fast gank path from his Kazakhs last game from that top side of the jungle. So he goes for the drop now and he'll come back. Xmithie on his red, just a little bit behind, but we did see Xmithie play very well for the amount he was kind of put behind by Moon in his engagements last game.
Oh, this is great, because if he walks over this ward and he tries to go for a gank, he's going to take a blast cone over. We'll see, because if this ward spots him out, it's a worth ward. There you go. Thought that he would actually start this route. Started on the top side because they knew the bottom lane couldn't leash because they were back. And they got poked out. And Moon gets agency on the top half of the map. He can go and just clear. Go take a Scuttle Crab as well if he wants.
Scuttle Crab as well as a lane pushing back out to even. Darshan looks pretty juicy. That's the word we're still going with for game 2. Stay in baity.
That was good by Balls, because Balls walked over and it made it look like he warded when he didn't ward, because he knows that Kazakhs is on the bottom side of the map. So if Darshan is timing a ward or faking that, or telling his jungler that there's a ward there, Balls actually faked it and will ward when it's a more appropriate time to do so. Don't hit the plant, because then it gives away your position. So yeah, he's just checking.
A good ward actually caught him at Raptor. So they know he's up by the Scuttle, just not down by the blue. Goes for the Wolves as well. Raptors being cleared out by Xmithie. So these guys actually avoiding each other much more in the early game. A gank already by Moon here in game 1. So on his Rengar, definitely wants to get himself nice and fat, doesn't want to meet anybody in a bad situation.
Well, Elimination taking a lot of damage here, and this is why this Zilean is actually considered quite good in Aphromu's opinion, because he thinks it does really well here, and there's the root, there's the damage.
Is that the sound they make? It's a hit. One more comes out with their grenade, and it looked like Lemonation was fronting a gank. Nobody else came in, but they still caught CLG off guard.
Yep, Aphromu thinks it's a great champion to play in this bottom lane, but he blew his flash at first level, and now they actually pay it back. Altec finally gets the root onto him, and then Lemonation just has the little Voidlings chip away, and that's first blood going over to Altec in the bottom lane.
Oh, Alright, taking a shot there. Altec and Lemonation back. The items being picked up nicely. Longsword is already there for him. Getting to his Frost Queens.
And you can see in mid lane, while that was actually happening, High, teleport was blown, but also Hu He had to blow both of his summoner spells, and there was a gank there. He got away, so now CS advantage slightly in favor of High as he takes another back here. But also he's getting help from Moon once again on this Rengar, who's close to hitting level 6. It's a little bit off, but he stole Xmithy's jungle, so now Xmithy's even further behind. Yeah, now he has pretty much nothing to do for a bit, as he just searches around for camps that are up. So he's like, I gotta check whatever I can, look for something, look for a gank.
It's going to be alone now. Hopefully he can put pressure on the...
Balls?
Teleport's coming in. I would have figured he's... Yeah, I have no mana. I might want to get out of this situation. I think Balls might have just sealed his own fate.
Yep.
A slow roam from Hu He isn't even going to be needed on this. If there were to be Moon coming from the other side, he scries that out, and they get to safety. So a good kill coming into the top lane.
Yeah, may have actually felt safe there because Moon was just in the left side jungle.
That's true.
And what you report to your team when you just counter jungle is he's not on this side of the map. So bottom, play safe, right? That's what they were doing and saying, Balls, you can shove up. He was attempting to do so. Darshan backs. TP's right into the lane, right in time, and there's no ward from Balls that's down. So a bit of a misplay there, but he had the information that Smithy wasn't on this side. Just a little bit off on that timing of staying.
You can see 21-12. As also the Raptors are still in there. He just picked up, Moon just picked up that Raptor camp. But Xmithy has not had too much jungle to find. He heads towards the bottom, and there are some Krugs there for him, finally. But a pushed up Altec and Lemonation with items might be a chance, but a scary chance to get back in.
Yeah, but it's also a level 6 Rengar here, looking for a gank and looking for taking control of the topside jungle. And Kha'Zix quite a bit off from that.
Keeping himself just about a level a minute.
Ooh. Just sees it actually go over. So Darshan, they know that Moon is on top side of the jungle. Will do his route from the red buff, which just came up. Whereas Xmithy, a little bit removed from his blue.
Lemonation getting hit up. Stixay already with that recurve can kind of see the other build we were discussing as opposed to the tier. It all depends.
Yeah.
For Varus.
The recurve bow. So maybe a Blade of the Rune King first. Could be the Rune Hand. So seen both. Varus builds are actually all over the place. He's so diverse in how you can actually build him. That's why he's favored by a lot.
Claws out.
Yep, Claws. First evolution there because the cooldown on the Q. Gets away from the chain pretty much every time. So this Kassadin pick, another thing that High seems to maybe have had up his sleeve. It's incredible when I watch these players and I just think, oh, people used to criticize them for their champion pool. They've been playing for years now. You know, they've played so many games that they have had something up their sleeve.
Yeah. And then in the sense that, hey, I still feel comfortable playing this matchup. We may see a pick and bans that we're like, what are you doing? And they're like, I actually like this matchup. We've heard before.
Remember I was talking about how Cadian plays Graves jungle and it's like 5th on his list because everything was getting pinched. And then you don't feel bad because you're like, oh man, I have to play one of my best champions in solo queue. Oh, it feels bad. But you actually feel really good because you pulled a lot of bans, but you're still on something that's comfortable. It's not necessarily competitive meta, but you know how to play it. You're very well rehearsed on that champion.
It's like I would always get to play Thresh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nobody bans Thresh.
And then
would I win? No.
It's like when Hu He gets to play Aurelion Sol, right? Now they haven't banned it in any of these games because they left things up like LeBlanc and knew what he was going to pick. But the Aurelion Sol was pulling bans previously, and he got to pull it out when he had actually taken like 3 to 4 mid lane bans. 10 bans, man. Changes a lot.
10 bans, man.
Yeah, 10 bans, man.
He is showing us that it does get a little bit deeper. He didn't want to show off, but did want to prove himself here coming into this season. I guess it is true, though. Your team builds so many compositions around this, the meta, whatever, for the year, and you don't get to show a giant pool if you don't get to.
Oh, High. hard forward, and the chain.
He just saw Xmithy in the corner of his eye. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Ooh, the
One
burn!
more, the burn is on. The blue buff would be transferred, but it's not going to come through. High squeezes tight and stays alive.
Oh!
Oh,
Moon tried to make a play there.
Moon trying to throw down the ulti quick, get himself back in.
He's got Max on it. Ooh, that was almost a root there. Oh,
High over the wall! Making it look juicy.
that was sick! He went over the wall and just threw him a Q. That was amazing. Comes back in. He made it look juicy, Rip.
It made it look so good. We're gonna have to get another look at that one.
This team, they make everything look like they're just in trouble, and maybe they are sometimes, right? These are large risks. That was really good.
Woo!
Used the flash, and then
this?
got the ignite.
This right here
He was backing the whole time.
is called the High Moon.
It's High Moon.
It's high.
It's the tag team that comes in.
Oh my
Oh,
word.
Easy, easy.
FlyQuest represent.
Oh my God, they have those new jerseys too. They just got them.
Look and Fly, new threads. They're able to come through with some kills as well. And Moon, once again, back to the mid lane to make sure High has a bit of an easier time, but as well be there for a counter game.
Exactly. Smithy was like, all right, Hui, this is a matchup that we want to snowball, because if the casting gets off the ground with the teleport, how do you even split push against this in a 1-3-1? You have to pick off the 3 members and use 4 against them. So then you are outnumbered on one of your side lanes, you start slowly losing a turret, and it's like an inevitability of having a cast in that's fed, or at least ahead. And really good by Moon to just sniff that out, see it coming. High plays to the top side where Moon is, and then Smithy comes through. Doesn't quite get it. The red, like basically if that kill goes over, if that red buff ticks just enough, none of that happens and they just get a kill.
Yeah, right? That would have been much, much different. A little bit of a nature walk here by FlyQuest. They get out safely. All pamphlets were signed by parents. Everybody is approved. 11 minutes in. Dragon, the first one going over. They've been back and forth within this game. I should say series. About 2 dragons to each team last time. First one's going to go over to FlyQuest. We'll see what pace that sets.
Yep, great use of the Malzahar Voidlings as well. Actually doesn't run completely out of range. Elimination just walks down to the bottom bush. You can see Moon takes the Cloud Drake, which is actually the highest DPS Drake, because it attacks faster and does percent HP on a faster cadence. But then, it doesn't take any damage. So now he's healthy to actually hang around in this bottom side jungle where they saw the Kha'Zix. He's tracking him.
He doesn't look like he wants that path, though. He's like, hang on. I feel like he's going to walk this path. Heading
Use the
back.
blast cone.
2v2.
They're going in.
They wanted even before he had a chance to get in. I was going to say hi, but he wanted it. And they said, all right, we'll fight all of you here, knowing they had the strength to come in.
Rengar still sticking around. Oh, TP coming through. That's going to root High.
TP locked down. Balls is coming in as well. Depth charge can go right out on the tank to lock him down. They're not even going to use it. He gets hit up by Xmithy as he comes in immediately. They could go for Huhi here, but it'd be a long chase, so they keep hitting Darshan. This could actually give Balls time to get back to the top lane. What a distortion forward here. Huhi threading the chains. They're going to finally take him down as he goes for another valiant attempt for a kill. Lemonation trying to get to the other side of the minions. Afro Moon now locking down Balls as Darshan can get in range. Gets taken down as Afromu's bombs are still ticking down. Half of the roam from Stixay, but he says, I'll stay and clear the waves. Yeah, Altec can try to get it locked there. Curtain call is in. Brings it closer to Afromu. Throws it down, and it's not even going to reach on that one. They wait.
Oh, he's waiting for it. High. He teleported in. Oh,
almost got him. High could cost himself something here. No, Afromu's out of mana. We're all right. Everybody calm down. High is going crazy. The teleport was used. Where's he going with the scrying orb? I don't think he's going to be able to find him. We're all right. May get himself a blue. He's going to take that time to get a blue. Mid's not even pressured with the roam from Altec. He's back.
Yeah, but hold on. He might not get this. Smithy running up, has the zillion speed, and it's not in smite range, but he'll be able to pick this up. So thanks for the leash, High. And he'll just maybe even hand this off to Huhi, so it's no damage done there. This was big. The root onto High, and then using the clone to get another chain. Enough damage to actually take out High, and Moon came in at the right time, and now you can see everybody rotating up. Bottom lane is shoving in. Malzahar already on his way here, so you have to play defensive. That chain almost hit Moon, but the fact that it hit Balls may have actually been better because it was enough to go ahead and kill. But I think you didn't want to have to use your flash there for Huhi. If you're Huhi and you land that chain onto Moon, you don't have to use your flash for the distortion, and you end up getting the kill.
Both teams were ready to just light the fuse there. It was Darshan was hanging out in base. It's almost like he said, hey, High continues to just go into me with his ult and then back out. I chain him, teleport in, but it also seemed like Balls may have said, hey, he's not in lane, I may be teleporting. Like, all of that communication that had to happen for the speed it did. These guys are ready to try to get a lead in the game right now. They are itching, and I can't wait to see what happens. Next, Mountain Drake is going to come up. Blue's going to be transferred over here, and I think we're actually going to get some more aggression in the mid lane real quick.
Yeah, this is actually a classic game to look at for how do you take care of your mid laner? Where are you putting your pink wards? How are you approaching the mid? Because as junglers, controlling the center of the map is one of the most important parts of the entire game. So if your mid lane gets out of control, you can snowball and just lose your bottom side of the map as well and lose Drake control. So you see that they're actually putting wards on the top side and the bottom side of mid, but then you really need to counter. So watch how Fly try to take control of that, because now High can't really push up unless he's just making a mistake.
Autos, it seemed like they were trying to get the ulti out there.
He wanted to die to that. Ooh.
Nicely done. It seemed like Altec kind of hesitated there, wanted the ult. They played it. They get the ult out of Afromu, and we'll see how this actually plays out.
They're looking for a 4-man dive on the bottom side of the map here.
They're already leaving.
Or
Altec elimination. They're like, I don't like this situation.
You can see they just have full control of the mid, which gives them control of the right side jungle. Rengar has no idea what's going on, and High also has no idea what's going on that side of the jungle.
There we go. The help from Moon as well, though. And the vision from High gives them just enough information to say we can hide under turret. That'll burn down. So the Scuttle Crab control over as 2 minutes on to Dragon now goes to CLG to try and start this fight and get some summoner spells.
It's a strange flank. Tried to use the clone to go through. Now they're just jumping onto Smithy.
You can still see him. He's in. One flash over. High is going to follow the rest of the team. Very nice deadly flourish. Getting a few more assists in the pocket for FlyQuest.
Yep, I believe that was blind as well, because that was not their control ward. Just threw it into the bush. Ended up landing. So they trusted. They used their abilities, their flashes to go over and follow and finish off that kill.
High, not online yet, but has not been shut down. Rod of Ages is stacking up for him.
Yeah, Blade the Ruined King first for Stixxay, so it's that other build. That other build of Varus. One that Captain Jack, I heard, was using. The Blade of the Ruined King first for the attack speed. Just getting more and more on hit damage there. The Shred tanks also stay quite healthy.
Fly exiting base with 3 members. High is going to take his time to farm up this mid lane. Not too bad, as we were saying. Still waiting to come online. 128 to 112. The CS has been evened out much more from last game to this game. Good fire from Stixxay, though, in that bot lane, though, at 160 to 127 in CS. That's Altec's roam, but that's also Stixxay and Afromu being able to hold off after an early flash from Afromu, after all that aggression that he went down. Still playing it very smart. In the bot lane, we should expect them to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the fact that they're also just ahead in CS, so they're not getting destroyed in the laning phase. They're actually just playing a little bit too aggressive sometimes.
Right.
And it's just being shot back on them. It's backfiring. The first turret still hasn't gone down yet in this game. Yeah, they see the LeBlanc and the Kazakhs hanging out by the Tribrush or the Crossroads over here with the Pixel Bush. And now they just have control. Look at those control wards that CLG have. This is actually FlyQuest losing control of a lot of the map. So they're protecting their bottom side, and it may be a gank through the lane, but otherwise it just looks like you can't really do too much off your mid lane just yet.
Elimination this time around. And Malzahar can't even really get the brush control needed to harass with Voidlings. Ball CP coming in.
Yeah, it's on a strange side. Altec caught.
Balls is from base. We're only 17 minutes in here, so you're not going to see those home guards kicking on just yet. He lumbers around way far in the back, trying to catch a straggler. He's going to be seen by Smithy as the fight now goes under the turret. Lemonation beast mode. Looking for the long curtain call.
Oh, they're swapping.
There's the ultimate. Beautiful job as they face Afromu. They're going to turn around for Stixxay.
One more.
Fadeaway shot, but they can't get it. They don't go to look at the explosion, but they also miss the kill. A nice reel in there onto Kuki. Darshan goes to the back line, but can Smithy get there in time? Lemonation and High get out with slivers of health, and now Darshan's left on the front line. Moon delivering a bit of damage back, and he's got the brush to deliver the range as well, as he doesn't just want to get himself in the fight yet. He goes in now. They go for the kill. Darshan stays alive with the autos and the heals from his team, but he's going to go down in the end. It looks like we're going to get 3 members of CLG down, or alive, I should say, and 3 members of Fly down.
Yeah, but they get the bottom turret here, so that's the victory for FlyQuest. They are able to take just a little bit more, and that's the first turret, so that'll actually give them a hefty lead here of about 2,000.
Lemon Nation actually stayed alive. Saw blinking red. I thought he was down.
Oh, everybody.
But we'll see it again here. The start, they don't hesitate, and that's what catches a lot of teams off guard.
Yeah, this is great because they use damage on the Stixxay. As soon as they see that, they swap over to the Zillion. So they're playing around the fact that he has the ability to revive a teammate. Stixxay gets really low. Started the animation there for his shot or grenade cause. Not sure which one that was, but gets picked up by Darshan after the flash, and now Stixxay and Huhi really don't have too much more to contribute here. And they have to wait for the fight to get turned around onto them as Darshan has to now kite backwards. It's the same thing with Elimination on the side. That was a flash attempt there from Balls to actually get Huhi. Heal also comes through there, and they pick up high, and Huhi almost gets hit, almost gets picked up there. That would have been quite interesting if the Malefic Visions, were on the Maokai when he died, and it would pop over to Huhi, who would then die, and it may have popped it over to Stixxay there too. So it could have been pretty bad.
Please no.
God no.
Thing you're terrified of.
Oh, top lane.
Yeah.
Making it look juicy.
And throw down that percent damage. Only has the first level of his ultimate, so it's not really going to cut through Darshan. Oh, the auto attack heal! Oh! Almost kept him alive, but not through the last hit. A little overkill in damage, but it was necessary.
Yep, and they'll trade that for the Mountain Drake on the bottom side of the map, but they're getting turrets off of this. That's 2 turrets to 0 right now. And High is also in the area to try and contest. That's a little aggressive.
Dragon going over to Xmithy. They have enough time for it. Balls is tanky enough for the rest of the team to get here, and that is an exploding Xmithy after getting Dragon, and Balls will fall to follow. Alphamu driving himself around. A smite there. Bola comes in, and they're going to be able to take him down. Double kill for Moon.
But now they get to shove the top wave, too. They have another wave coming in. This might be actually 2 turrets in the top side because they tried to pull everybody to the bot. That's actually such a brilliant play there from FlyQuest to get more of a lead.
That bot side's also getting pushed very far, so 2 lanes at least getting respect here, giving FlyQuest a little bit of breathing room, get back, buy some items, and figure out who he is. Just throwing auto attacks at the mid lane. I'm all alone, don't worry.
Yeah, try to get something
I'm
done.
doing something here. Uh-oh. Okay, he's fine. I was like, Malzahar. It's not a mid Malzahar. He's fine. He wants to run away from this LeBlanc. All right, teleport's coming in. If Uhi sticks it, they know somebody else is coming through. Darshan blasts himself over the wall just for a bit of aggression.
Yeah, but now Huhi has to back off. They have to probably bring Stixxay to the mid for wave clear here. Really well played from High. He actually gets an E and it hits almost everybody. Hits Stixxay and Alphamu. And now they're trying to put damage on so many people that Alphamu feels pressured as a Zillion. Do I ulti myself? Who do I ulti? So he's just ultiing pretty much the highest value threat that he can during that fight. So they get the double kill, and they also got the Zillion ultimate off. They actually killed Stixxay during that. Just so he wouldn't keep pumping out damage.
Yep.
And then they didn't go back for him. They were like, nope, no more of this AD carry, because if they stayed there, Huhi might actually reinforce faster.
Yep.
So it was a good call to actually just peel off and go straight for Afromu, and they did get that top turret, so it's 3-0 in turrets right now.
FlyQuest has to be a little careful. Everything for those 2 turret for that 2 turret push is wards on the top side, so they might be fighting a little dark down here. It's all right, though. If you fight with numbers, it doesn't matter. 1v1, is it the 2v1? 2v2! Quickly deleted off the map is Xmithy.
Man, it's the High Moon combo again.
It's so
That's
big.
The thing. They're just having the 1-3-1, and it's actually a 1-2-1 because they have the jungler hanging out on this side. It's the pick composition. You can't split push against this 1-3-1 that has so much pick in it. And right now, they're trying to pick off
Moon.
Yeah, and so I was looking at Cassidy coming through, but that pulls so many people into the jungle. You trade one for it, that's kind of worth.
Darshan's like, Vengeful Maelstrom, I can fight everything, and he may be right as the team is just on his heels to try and get in. Fly can back off, as we said, they had all that vision on the top side, so they saw him coming in. You can see everybody back. I thought we had a teleport, but everybody's backing for FlyQuest. Maybe.
Oop. But this is something that you look at Echo Fox games and you compare to when they have a lead. What do? Fly is actually sacrificing members to get turrets. So it's one person traded for a turret because it takes so many people to kill him. If you start putting hyper-powered members on side lanes, it'll take 2 people to kill them. Right there, they knew that 2 was coming, so they bring the Rengar 2-on-2, win a superior fight, get a numbers advantage, and then they just say, all right, keep being dumb, keep running into the jungle, keep people occupied. Because if you just have a siege that's equal numbers, you don't get anywhere. So they decide to try and invade. Moon, it cost him his life, almost gets away over into the Drake pit, but they still get more out of it. They get the turret. They lose their mid turret though, so in the overall scheme of things, it's a little bit more in favor for that 1 kill, but honestly, it's a 1-for-1 with a 1-for-1 turret trade. But FlyQuest are actually progressing on the map.
Alltech throwing out the
Afro gone.
curtain call from behind. Kill for Alltech, kill for Moon. The bushwhack coming from FlyQuest takes CLG completely off guard. They had control of that jungle for quite some time and were able to use it once again. Paying off big time. Now on to Baron, we're 24 minutes in. This game feels like it's been going for a while, but they're actually crushing through quite fast, and we're still at a high kill count.
Yeah, Elimination, MVP of that, by the way, because he's actually 3 points into his Voidlings, 5 points into his Silence, so he actually wants to max his Q first, because it goes from a 1 second to a 2 second duration, but that's long enough for him to silence multiple people, and they get the kill on Aphromoo right here. Watch this Silence as it hits 6A and Aphromoo both, and Xmithie. He can't cast ulti there. You kill the Zillion, you kill the Kha'Zix right after, and then you pick up the Varus's, the extra right after. So that's a brilliant silence there for 2 seconds where they're able to just blow up the Zillion, and then he can't do a single thing about it. But Zillion pick is working.
But this is when it's supposed to get harder, right? The other team has seen that engagement. They'll be more aware of it next time, supposedly. So we'll see. Does FlyQuest have something new, or are they just going to be able to do the same thing?
Well,
I honestly think they might just be able to do the same thing. They are so far ahead,
exactly.
and they just be able to catch CLG one by one. It doesn't even matter if it's Darshan anymore.
That's the issue, is you're like, all right, let's not do that again. But the fact you did it once already means that you're down in gold even further than before. Moon, gonna just disable CC.
In those little instances, not terrible, but you'd love to get something out of that. CLG setting up, you don't have many options to say we could do a 5-man ourselves. You've given yourself away, right? You only get a few chances to set those up, and FlyQuest is not falling into them. Here one again. They choose to put some damage onto balls real quick, but it'll only be a here and there touch.
I actually really like what Elimination was doing with the 3 points into the Voidlings. A lot of people will max it first, but the fact that the duration of the silence goes up, this random tangent, because I love it so much, is where he actually thrives in these fights. He's throwing out the suppression, he's throwing out the silence, and it's quite annoying. So he hits it a lot faster than the level 13, where that may have not been the possibility. He may have left up an extra fraction of a second.
Alltech, I love it. He's double activating every time he says, Youmuu's is on?
Yep.
They're activatable. Let's go.
And hit your Edge of Night as
Edge
well.
of Night.
So he's going for the full lethality build. I feel like players do this to us all the time. It's like, man, lethality feels awful. And then as soon as we buff it, they play lethality on the previous patch. Like, all right, let's get used to this. It was good all along. Man. And now it's like, okay, this will probably be the Jhin build next patch, right?
Right.
Because Edge of Night is even buffed then too.
God, he was so smart.
He was so smart. He fooled us all.
Oh my gosh. Well, 4-1-2, it seems to be working out for him, but an 8-2-2 Moon out of the jungle on this Rengar. It's like NA Rengar's getting a new name throughout the season here.
Oh, Rengar in general is just so ridiculous. But the fact that they were saying, Moon, we trust you with this champion. We don't care if we give up LeBlanc for this. We have something in store. Who he taken to LeBlanc so that everybody else on his team has.
It's incredible what confidence in general will do to your play. Think of any play in solo queue. You get a few kills early, you feel amazing about that game. Imagine your team giving you that to you all the time. You're never going to want to not initiate. They're always behind you, and we can see that. The high Moon combination going around, balls right on top of these teleports these games, as well as Darshan when they go to initiate. So it's been made for some great fights.
Yeah, and Moon, I mean, he went for the build where he builds Deadman's third as opposed to second. We've seen some players go Warriors into Deadman's, but he's actually getting the Youmuu's on top of it. And he's sitting at about 300 attack damage right now without any Infernals or anything like that. He has one more stack on his Bone Tooth necklace to pick up.
They just wanted to wipe Pooty there, too.
Yeah? Well, that's the thing, right? Run towards where High is on the other side.
Baroned up minions, not taking a whole hell of a lot of damage here in front of the turret. The curtain call. They don't like the show. CLG turns around real quick.
Yep, but now Huhi walking up. High says pull back, but they might see right there. Even Balls doesn't want that.
I think that call was right.
Yep.
Bit of a pullback. High has a lot of aggression on the bot turret. He is focusing Huhi right now.
Oh, he missed the chain.
Goes forward. Yep, that was on a minion. Clone comes out. He'll be fine on that as the passive wears off. And it looks like the bot lane, bit of control for Fly, but they back off.
Yeah, this is how High loves to split push with 1-3-1 compositions or even 4-1 comps, because he just tells you when to siege, he tells you when to back off, and he tells you when the guy just even steps out of vision. So as soon as Huhi leaves his vision, he says, back up, I'm going to push forward, because Huhi can't stand against him. And if he pulls Kha'Zix up to the top lane and it's a 2-on-1 not in favor of High, then he just tells them to shove in. You guys have an advantage.
It's one of the most kind of like
It's
I
basically
wouldn't say
push and
simple,
pull, right?
It's pretty fundamental once you get to it, but yeah, it's the yo-yo. I call it the yo-yo.
Yeah.
If I'm going in, you're kind of pulling back. If we don't see anybody, you get out, I create the pressure, and the yo-yo effect. And once you can do that, games become much more in control for you.
Exactly, and it should be like that. You think like, oh, everybody can do that, but it's just the constant stream of communication.
It's actually hard to continuously do.
It's harder. It's hard to do because sometimes you call that he's not there, and then he's just actually right out of vision. So you don't know exactly what to do with it. But High right now, he's gonna say, all right, there's 2 here. Go ahead and shove up, and you can see they start getting control of the bottom side. Maybe they go for a flank or control this.
They actually might try to cut it, being one of the last outer turrets.
Yep.
Incredibly hard to defend if you have a team with a Nautilus coming through. Oh, nice damage.
Yep. Yeah, he got that Mimic. But now they actually don't have anybody in the mid lane right now. They're just spreading out, making sure they have complete control over the bottom side. And Counterlogic Gaming on the back foot, 10,000 gold down at a 29-minute mark. And right now, FlyQuest are looking like they might go 3-0 to start off week 2.
In and out of the brush. Is he gone? Is he there? They see him on the control ward for now, but this turret going down ever so slowly. And this is kind of the, where does CLG make a mistake here, right? That's all they're waiting for, back and forth. Who can they catch next?
Moon is using the ultimate for pressure. So is LeBlanc going to stay? Now LeBlanc will see, hey, I have the icon over my head.
Oh.
Yeah. And they see that the Zillion and they see all those guys moving around. Well, maybe just push up mid, see what happens here. The Zillion shows.
Top wave is pushing. It seems like...
Oh, they're all backing off. So this might be a Baron control.
Overstayed their welcome. They say, hey, we have waves in the top lane. We'll clear that. Go for Baron setup on Vision as well. They've kind of let the Vision go to the wayside. Whenever you're at the front door of a base, you have to remember that you still may have to back off, and you'd like Vision to do that. So FlyQuest setting it up around the map and probably be back at the front door real quick once again if this Baron isn't right now.
Yep. Pick up the Scuttle Crab on Elimination's way back to get some more wards. It's actually in a very risky spot there.
Oh.
But Rengar doesn't have the ultimate available. They spotted Elimination. High's doing the blue buff. It depends on where he goes from there. Because if he goes down and starts split pushing again, it becomes a big problem. And Moon. Woo!
Moon flies to him and flashes away.
That was insane how far he flew towards him. But look at this. High is looking for a flanking teleport. It's going to get him about 2,000 units, but it'll be enough.
Oh, did he bring it past? He hits Huhi and Xmithie now. That stops up the team.
Stixxay.
Line. From the backside, Aphromoo goes down. Stixxay's already fallen. 45 seconds on the timers here. FlyQuest was just backs kind of moving out, trying to get the vision, and CLG said, we have enough room. Let's engage. FlyQuest bites down as fast as they left the base, and right again at the doorstep of CLG.
Oh, and again, the silence comes out from Elimination to make sure that Zillion can't ulti there. Aphromoo maybe could have been able to do it a little bit earlier, but FlyQuest, they're going to get so much off of this. There's 20 seconds on Stixxay, 30 on Darshan as they start tearing apart the base.
Don't have too many minions. Oh, they do have minions with them. They were hovering over, so that siege cannon minion will give them a little bit more time with this turret. Nothing's going to be hitting them to start off. They do say end it. 8 seconds on Aphromoo and Stixxay. There's not enough damage between the rest of the team. They go in. He's low. He gets taken down immediately. Xmithie once again forced to watch. Deja vu for him as FlyQuest is on the Nexus. They're trying to go for kills. They're trying to go for the damage. Who pockets the extra gold? It's going to be someone on the team. FlyQuest coming out with another 2-0 to start week 2.
And FlyQuest moved to 3-0 at the start of week 2. That is insane considering most people said these guys are washed up. They're just playing from Challenger. They haven't had the competition. They are rusty. They have just shown that they can take down teams like Team Liquid,